Today we're diving into something car lovers dream about: mid-engine cars. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't those just for millionaires with Ferraris in heated garages? Not quite. The truth is, mid-engine cars aren't just about supercars. They come in different shapes, sizes, and price brackets, some surprisingly accessible. So today, we're breaking down 7 mid-engine cars that work for everyday enthusiasts. Some are cheap, some are practical, and yes, some are dream cars, but all of them have something special that makes them worth talking about. Quick question for you to kick things off. If you could drive just one mid-engine car for a week, alright, let's jump in. 7. Mazda MX-5 Miata, the accessible spirit. Okay, purists, before you scream at me, yes, the Miata is technically a front mid-engine car. The engine sits behind the front axle line, which gives it balance more like a mid-engine layout than a traditional front engine. And for many enthusiasts, the Miata is the gateway drug into what mid-engine cars feel like. Talking points, story-driven. Light, playful, and affordable. The Miata proves you don't need 500 horsepower to have fun. The steering communicates beautifully. You feel the road, every little imperfection, like your hands are plugged into the asphalt. Perfect daily driver for city or weekend fun, reliable, cheap parts, and a huge community for mods. If you had a Miata for one day, would you take it on a mountain road, a racetrack, or just a sunset coastal cruise? Tell me your pick: mountain, track, or coast, in the comments. It's proof you can capture the mid-engine feeling: balance, lightness, joy, without exotic prices. 6. Porsche Cayman. 718 and older. This is what happens when Porsche decides to build the perfectly balanced sports car. The Cayman is a true mid-engine car, and honestly, it's one of the most refined options on this list. Mid-engine placement gives the Cayman a razor-sharp front end. It feels alive but secure, a perfect dance partner. Comfortable cabin, good visibility, practical enough for 2 people. Even has decent frunks and trunks. Price spectrum. Used Caymans can be surprisingly affordable, while the newer 718s deliver turbocharged punch. A buddy of mine traded his daily sedan for a Cayman, and he said commuting became therapy. Even in traffic, he loved just being inside that car. Which Porsche would you rather daily? The iconic rear-engine 911 or the mid-engine Cayman? Drop your vote. 911 or Cayman. It's the thinking person's Porsche. A car that gives you 90% of a 911's thrill with arguably purer balance, often for less money.
5. Acura Honda NSX Gen 1.
Now we're getting into legends. The NSX, Honda's mid-engine masterpiece, changed the game back in the 90s. Talking points expanded with history. Honda wanted to prove that an exotic could be reliable, and they nailed it. Aluminum body, naturally aspirated V6, and that intoxicating VTEC scream. Ayrton Senna helped tune the chassis, yes, the Formula One legend himself. That's why the car feels so precise. Unlike other exotics, it wasn't intimidating. Great visibility, everyday usability, and you didn't need to sell your house just to service it. Values today are climbing, but if you can find one, it's still one of the most user-friendly exotics ever made. If you could drive either an old Ferrari or a classic NSX for a month, which would you pick? Ferrari romance or Honda reliability? Comment below. It's the bridge between normal cars and supercars. Exotic looks, sensible usability. 4. Toyota MR2, AW11 and SW20. Here's the people's mid-engine car. The Toyota MR2, small, lightweight, affordable, and genuine mid-engine fun. Came in multiple generations. AW11, boxy 80s charm, SW20, 90s curves, and later MR2 Spider, quirky roadster. Known as the poor man's Ferrari, because it had mid-engine proportions but at Toyota prices. Driving feel. Sharp turn-in, light on its feet, playful, though the SW20 could bite if you weren't careful. Today, these are beloved project cars. Huge tuning community, affordable parts, and loads of character. Would you restore an MR2 back to stock or modify it into your dream build? Let me know, stock or modded, because it shows mid-engine thrills aren't reserved for the rich. This was, and still can be, a budget-friendly entry point. 3. Chevrolet Corvette C8. The Corvette went mid-engine, and it shocked the world. For decades, the Corvette was front-engine. Then Chevy dropped the C8 and gave America a mid-engine supercar for a fraction of European prices. Sharp, aggressive, and unmistakably exotic. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, loud V8 soundtrack, and handling balance finally worthy of competing with Italy. Usability. Surprisingly good trunk space for a mid-engine car, comfy enough for road trips, and modern tech inside. Price advantage. You get Ferrari-like performance starting around $65,000 new. If money was no issue, would you take a Corvette C8 or a Ferrari F8? Tell me which and why. I want to see who's loyal to America and who's chasing Italy. It democratized the mid-engine dream, supercar looks and performance within reach of real buyers. 2. Lotus Elise/Exige/Evora. If driving is an art, then Lotus is the paintbrush. The Elise is famous for being raw, tiny, featherweight, manual, and absolutely connected. It's the definition of purity. Exige, the track monster. Same formula but dialed up. Stiff, loud, and scalpel sharp. Evora, a little more mature with actual comfort, better interiors, and still the same Lotus DNA. The magic is in the chassis. These cars don't just drive, they talk to you. Every corner, every bump, every weight shift is translated straight to your body. Downsides. Practicality is nearly zero. Getting in and out is a yoga class. Reliability can be quirky. But once you're on a mountain road, nothing else compares. If someone gave you a Lotus Elise for free, would you daily it or save it as a weekend toy? Daily or weekend? Type it below. Because no car brand captures mid-engine purity like Lotus. 1. Ferrari 360, 430, 458. The dream versus reality. And finally, we have to talk Ferrari. For many, mid-engine equals Ferrari. The 360, the 430, the 458. These are dream machines. The sound. A Ferrari mid-engine V8 is one of the most iconic noises in the world. Timeless, elegant, instantly recognizable. Playful yet sharp. Ferraris live to dance in corners. Maintenance costs can sting. A Ferrari isn't just a car. It's a commitment. You don't just buy it, you buy into the lifestyle, the upkeep, the rituals. Alternative, everyone's Ferrari. If you want that dream feel without the Ferrari tax, the Cayman or C8 Corvette might be your real #1 pick. If you had to choose between chasing the dream Ferrari or sticking with a practical Cayman/C8, which would you pick? Dream or practical? Because mid-engine is more than a layout. It's a symbol. And Ferrari defines that symbol. And that's for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Got thoughts, questions, or video ideas? Drop them down in the comments. I read every single one,